Hello everybody, welcome back to Salem, Sanctum. I'm excited to be here with AVRAJ and crew. Alright, we got Sahib, we got Sean, we got AVRAJ, and we got William. I'm very excited to record this episode. And so let's get into it. Of course, we're here with Kyle and Abdul too.
Okay, so our first topic is, what country would you say has the most potential in all the upcoming World Supers?
I would say Rwanda. Cause let's know. Okay, I watched a Mark Rober video on it once.
Venezuela.
Cause look, Rwanda, right? First of all, it's in Africa. Africa has what? The most natural resources. Most natural resources, and it has one of the fastest growing economies.
Not as much as Venezuela though.
But sleeper, I pick Israel to be the next world power.
No,
They already ruled the world. Yeah, they already ruled the world, bro.
BlackRock, man.
No, I don't think we put that on.
I'd say India. I think they got rid of the BJP. You know,
The what?
the ruling party.
The ruling.
Like Narendra Modi.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think they got rid of that party. I think they do a lot better. But you know, I'll see those Hindu clubs.
Aren't they already kind of a superpower? Don't they already have some of the most nukes out of like top 5?
Well, they're not top 5. They have a couple nukes, but they're not considered like superpower in terms of domestically. Like sure, they might play a major role in global politics, but that's more just because they don't really have worker laws over there. So people kind of like outsource their work as like an alternative to China instead of like sending it to Chinese kids to make. They send it's like poor Indian kids.
Also, can you really call a country a superpower when itself is not developed?
Yeah,
You could. The USSR was a superpower for many years. Their economy was terrible. People were starving and dying.
but they had Moscow. They had skyscrapers.
Yeah, but they
I mean,
had
there's
the super
Mumbai
feared.
and Delhi.
I mean that's true. I think
Is their main focus military like things though?
Yeah.
Does India play a role like in globally with the military? Because the USSR played like a role in South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, everywhere.
I think
Yeah, their economy
for a
is, like,
country to be a
not that great.
superpower, in my opinion, I think it should encompass everything, including the
Yeah.
individuals.
I mean, India's already starting to do that with that whole Canada situation with like threatening. What was it? They killed that one guy, Nardeep Singh Nijjar.
Yeah.
So I think
Was
they're
he killed
already.
in Canada or in?
He was killed in BC.
Yeah, and they sent someone to kill him.
They sent somebody to kill him, and apparently they're deeply ingrained in Canadian politics. So I think they're already trying to make moves into becoming a world superpower. But I just don't think like their image is. I don't think there's very many countries in the world that see India as like a good alternative to the U.S. right now.
What do y'all think about ICE agents?
ICE agents?
I
Horrible.
think
It's disgusting.
they're inhumane completely.
I mean,
Yeah,
the way they do things is probably.
Yeah,
They treat people like actual pigs.
Yeah, like I understand there's a problem with immigration, right? But these are like.
But I don't think we should go with the violence route. We should
Yeah.
just get it sorted out in a different
Yeah.
kind of way.
Well, I would say immigration is definitely a problem, like both in the U.S. and Canada. But I just don't feel like ICE is targeting like the criminals. Like
They're targeting the hard
yeah,
working
exactly.
man.
Like how was like grabbing somebody from their high school graduation gonna help the United States? How was like separating families like that who they're working, they're part of the economy, they're paying taxes, they're doing all that stuff. How's that gonna help the whole
It
situation?
won't, because it really won't. It'll just affect
Yeah.
everything else negatively.
I mean,
how
it's-
you see U.S. it's just gonna be bad.
It's just another scapegoat using by a tyrannical dictator. Really.
I
Only
think-
on
I think
people
honestly-
that didn't like that are innocent.
Yeah.
I think ICE is the Gestapo in like the modern world.
Exactly, I fully agree with that.
Yeah, like the Gestapo in Nazi Germany. That's what we're seeing today in the modern world.
Yeah.
And people refuse to see it because they claim that these immigrants are criminals.
Yeah, they think that they're being protected, but if they can like be as inhuman as these like immigrants, like what's to say they won't do that to us if somebody's like a political enemy?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, many people have already been kicked out of the country falsely.
Exactly. They don't do any form of actual checks, see if they're actually a citizen, if they were born within the country. They are just kicking people out. They're taking people from their homes,
And
from their
So
kids.
are we? So if like let's say a Mexican kid like, has a U.S. citizenship, he could possibly kill.
Yes,
This has
absolutely.
happened
Yeah.
to
This has
multiple
already
people
happened. This has happened to indigenous people.
And the
there
thing
as
is,
well.
they are aware of this, and they're also like when they hire agents for ICE, right? They target uneducated and like.
Yeah, bro, say your thing.
Thing though about ICE is that they're trying to help the U.S. because immigrants that don't have any kind of social security or any kind of like citizenship, they don't pay taxes and they don't contribute to the healthcare, and they just weigh down social services. But they're approaching the problem in such like a inhumane way where they're
separating families.
they're separating.
Well,
families.
actually-
they should do it in a better.
There should
way.
be a more orderly, fashioned, like legal way of doing it instead of taking people from their homes and just kicking them out.
Going
sending them
against their
wherever.
rights.
Exactly.
But also, to go with that, it's actually been proven multiple times that the majority of taxpayers, the people who pay the most amount of tax in America, are people who are immigrants and come from immigrant families.
Exactly.
And I think also like even like if you're on the side of like anti-immigration, you should be against this. This is nothing but a PR disaster. Like it really isn't helping your cause very much at all. This isn't border security. This isn't anything like that.
If you fuck with human rights, then you should not fuck with ISIS.
Exactly. And I fully believe that big
It's
corporations-
not ISIS, but I don't like ISIS either.
Yeah, well, I think it applies.
I believe that people blame all their problems on immigrants because it's a ploy by big companies and the government to
They're
avoid
using them as scapegoats.
distract them from the real problems,
Yeah.
what's actually causing these issues.
Israel.
Yeah,
Fuck Israel.
BlackRock,
BlackRock.
Blackstone.
Wait, CEO of BlackRock. What?
Larry
Can-
Fink.
Yeah. Can someone tell me what's his faith?
Judaism.
Let's not.
Let's
Chill,
not
chill, chill.
bring religion. Okay.
Let's chill on that.
Well, speaking of religion, Donald Trump just said he wants the Faith for America initiative today.
What is that?
They want everybody to like have like a Christian prayer for the 250th anniversary.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Very interesting.
he said he champions religious freedom and then unveils America Prays, where everybody like prays for the country's success for the 250th anniversary of the national.
I don't.
I
People
don't-
don't see it. This is a dictatorship.
I don't think Trump is a legitimate Christian at all. He doesn't stand for any Christian values at all.
Well, yeah, like what do you really think? Like obviously, like it was in the past, but like do you really think a devout Christian's hooking up with Stormy Daniels?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Trump literally
I mean,
fucks
he
one-
that, though.
Trump fucks porn stars. If I ever see Trump, I'm gonna fucking kill him.
But also, he's using Christianity as like a scapegoat too. like,
Exactly.
He's using it
and he's
against-
defaming the name of the religion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He uses this Christianity view to be looked at as a good person.
Yeah. He's using Christianity as a fake virtue. He is a horrible person.
The United
He-
States.
I don't think any billionaire stands for any like not even
Virtuous
Christianity, like Islam. They don't stand for any of that shit. Even if they do.
The United
I mean-
States is anti-Christian because of how much stuff they do that goes against religion, like
Yeah.
ICE, like billionaires not helping out homeless people.
The U.S. destroyed the Middle East, bro.
They destroyed the Middle East. Israel is literally like a U.S. base, basically.
Yeah.
It's just a whole country dedicated to being the U.S.'s like foot planted in the Middle East to destabilize countries and just mess with them.
I mean, modern religion is no longer used as what it was intended when it was first made for. I mean, thousands of years ago when religions came up, it was a way to make sense of the world around you because there was no explanations. Now we have the explanations for most things. People use modern religion as a source of, hatred and justification for the wrong actions they do because they will misguide themselves within ambiguous texts.
The whole thing with gay people, how it's the average religious person does not agree with gay rights or homosexuality at all. I believe that's fully fucked up. In most religions, it's believed that you should love everyone, treat everyone equally, and support them no matter what. So I believe with a lot of religions, how they don't support homosexuality is just completely wrong in every feasible way.
Well, here's the thing. I would I think coming as like a religious person myself, I don't think it's less like I'm not going to go out in the street and like lynch somebody over their sexuality. I think it's just I don't agree with that with myself and with my family. That just it's not with our values. But I'm not like if we live in a Western country with democratic values, it should be legal.
Absolutely.
The thing about that though is not everyone's like you. There's many people who will
Yeah.
see a gay person and go out of their way to harm them. And
that's messed up.
unfortunately,
I've seen
it's
people
a
tear down the
very
Pride
loud
posters here.
and strong minority of religious followers. But the only thing you can do is educate and preach
Yeah.
understanding, which is something that most religions preach, but does get ignored in a modern setting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't. I don't think it actually gets ignored. It's just like it's misunderstood to a certain point. Because
Yeah.
let's say, for example, take Christianity, right? We don't like actively go out and like
Yeah.
condemn the the gay LGBTQ people. It's more of like you acknowledge that they want to live a different lifestyle as you, and so their values and ideologies just don't match up with your own. So you just like you don't go out of your way to invoke violence and like do something. It's just acknowledging that their ideologies and their lifestyles are differently from yours.
But does that align with voters?
Well, vote. You can convince anybody of anything. Like none. I think. Like, correct me if I'm wrong when I'm speaking for like the world's largest religions like Islam, Christianity, that kind of thing. We're not. Nowhere in the text to say, oh yeah, when you see a gay person, you gotta hang them or throw them off a building.
No.
It's you recognize this is how they want to live their life, but you try and guide them to your path. You try and tell them, hey, this is why I think it's wrong. Maybe this is why you should think it's wrong. And it's not necessarily saying that them just because they're gay they mean nothing or they're worthless or anything. We're not. I think that it's a terrible thing to do, to strip somebody of their human rights just because of what they think, and they're not harming anybody else by doing what they do. But at the same time, to try and pin it on organized religion for extremism and the like, it's like you're taking it's like a drop in a swimming pool. You're not like you how do you describe it? There's so many benefits that you get from organized religion. That's like to try and like make the argument that in modern times it's just a tool of division. And hey, I just think that's the wrong way to look at it.
But you can't deny the fact that a lot of people use religion as a way to channel hatred.
100%.
Yeah.
People use all kind of things to fuel
They
hatred.
say that with anything, honestly.
With anything, yeah. But the issue is, I mean, even here in Alberta, people are voting with religious views in mind, with those things in mind. We have voted Danielle Smith in. She is putting legislation to make it harder to be yourself as a gay, a trans person in Alberta. I mean, look at what's happening in school. You have to register as a born female just to play sports.
Play sports. I saw it today at the swim meeting earlier this morning. All the women who wanted to join the swim team had to be held back to talk about the new legislation. It's horrible. I think it's tyrannical.
What was the main point of the legislation?
To not let trans women play in a women's
I
sport.
don't think there's a single one in Alberta.
Yeah, they're so uncommon. They're doing nothing but just inconveniencing.
And then
natural
even
It's
then,
more of an American problem.
even then though, what's happening is it's making it harder for women to just
Yeah.
play
It's a
sports
roadblock.
and go thing. So it's not only a roadblock for trans people, it's a roadblock for women, but it makes it harder for everyone.
If we're talking about voters, like
Yeah.
you said, most voters, how old do you think they are?
Most of them are statistically in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah, they're
Yes,
boomers
right.
and more,
Right.
like
Right.
older Gen
Yeah,
X.
so what do you think was their way of thinking is back? Like, probably still they're still thinking old. They're not thinking
More
about what's
conservative.
Actually, there
Yeah.
was a study where it was calculated their lack of empathy is now a lot more. It's just reduced. Older people tend to have like less empathy for like the newer generations. That's why if you have like a grandma trying to learn like the technology, it's hard for her because they lack that like empathy and like not knowledge, but like it's just
Way of
that
thinking?
yeah.
No way
If
of
they
thinking.
feel alienated.
Yeah.
Not really alienated, but like more of like you could say they feel alienated.
Yeah.
There's a gap in understanding is what
Yeah.
you're saying. But I mean, that doesn't make it right. If I harm someone out of ignorance, I still harmed someone, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't remove that fact.
But that's what, we're doing.
But it's not.
mean,
I don't think it's not it's not something inherent to organized religion. Like I could kill somebody right over like a small like you guys know Raja Jackson.
No,
You know that whole situation like with that guy who beat up the wrestler.
Yes, I seen that.
Yeah.
Because,
Like he beat him up because he like smacked a fake beer can on his head.
Can we get like the context? I can tell the context. So basically, beforehand, we have this kick streamer, Roger Jackson, son of Rampage Jackson, which
Famous
is
UFC fighter.
a UFC fighter. Beforehand, we have these WWE wrestlers, right?
It's like WWE, but like on a local scene, like a smaller.
And behind the scenes, they were in the back, and Roger Jackson had like a full camera set up on him, and the guy thought that he was filming in like for the promotion and stuff.
Yeah, Psycho
So
Stu's the guy.
he had to be in that like WWE like
Character.
wrestler character, in their characters. And so he wanted to intimidate Roger Jackson for the promotion, and like it's all good vibes in all honesty.
Yeah.
But Roger Jackson, out of pure anger, he didn't take it the right way. When he smashed the beer can on his head, which was by the way a prop beer can, so it didn't hurt beforehand. And so he had the like the receipts when you get punched in a WWE match in a fake one, and you punch someone.
Yeah.
You had to punch them back because like it's all supposed to be fake.
Like their get back.
He was told to get one of those, but instead he premeditated and he was gonna like murder Psycho Stu in the ring. And he was supposed by the promoters were supposed to bring him in as like a side character and like for just to get his receipt. And out of anger and like he didn't have any emotional control, he knocked him out on the ring, and he gave him on like 20 or more punches while the guy was down there unconscious.
And how does this relate back to religious values?
Because anything could motivate that type of hate. That's the point we're trying to say. You can't pin it on. It's not an inherent thing with you could scour every religious book. I think it would be hard to find a single verse where it says, oh yeah, this type of person's this way, like outside of war, of course, like obviously war is a different situation.
Yeah.
Like find like an innocent person and go like murder them without any sort of remorse because they live this lifestyle.
And we can also connect the influences.
Yeah.
But I think in social we talked about like different influences on what makes a person a person, and the biggest factor is family. And if we take a look at that, we take a look at his father. We're not putting the blame on his father or anything like that, but his father is like an angry person in general. He's like a violent person. There's multiple videos of him like harming people in public.
Yeah.
But this feels like a complete and utter straw man. It has nothing to do with what we were talking about. And all it proves is that a violent man committed a violent crime, unrelated to any of the topics that we were on about. It's a total straw man.
But you're making the argument that organized religion teaches you to do that.
No, I'm making the argument that organized religion is being misused because people are using it as a way to teach others about hate against groups which have no harm done upon them, the religion itself. That's my argument. My argument has nothing to do with a random son of a MMA star beating up a random amateur wrestler.
Yeah, I get what you mean. When they're using religion as basically a foothold or a way to justify their violence.
I think there's a distinction between like the followers of religion and religion itself.
Religion,
but that doesn't stop us from being a bit criticized.
Yeah, religion I believe is beautiful, and honestly, someday in my life I will read, the big ones, research it, learn more about it, because I do think that religion is beautiful, and also looking at the way that religion comes up and why people, first subscribed and follow to it it's amazing. It's beautiful. It shows human ingenuity and spirit, but I feel like you get corrupt politicians, you get people who, just don't understand and hate, and they just twist these words, these teachings into something completely different. I mean, you can even look at it in America 100 years ago. Being a cross-dressing actor, a man who dressed up as a woman 100 years ago, in the 30s, pre-World War II, pre-Depression, so in the 20s, it was extremely popular. People loved it. It was amazing. People loved it. All sorts of men did it. It was amazing. Until the Great Depression hit, everything was getting terrible, war was happening, and they needed someone to hate. They needed someone to be the focal point of an attack to bring up popularity, so they started hating on these cross-dressing actors, and started bringing them down, legalizing it. Clubbing was very big with these people in this community, so they banned things like alcohol. They did all this stuff to take away from them, and what that did basically was giving them power to make decisions they wanted to do without the people realizing that other decisions were made. And then, of course, as we saw in the 2000s, the 90s, the 2010s, it got popular again. But then COVID happened, things got crappy, and immediately you could see the switch in views, and all of a sudden being gay was wrong. There's more people arguing for traditional masculinity and all that stuff. And it happens like a wave over and over again. When things get bad, they find someone to blame.
Well, I don't entirely disagree with you, but when it comes to like the modern, like you're talking about COVID, after COVID, I would disagree, just because I feel like the biggest height of that was after Donald Trump got elected, when there's such a big focus on there's so much distrust in the government, and with especially with the media, people were beginning to look at what exactly the media was pushing, and you can either it's not I don't think it's an issue which side you take, but a lot of people in their distrust in the media began looking, and with their own personal values, they're seeing I guess it comes more from a concern for their kid. These are a lot of parents, that kind of thing. You'd say, would you agree? These are a lot of the concern, especially for books relating to those types of topics. It's a lot from parents, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so.
You wouldn't say it's from parents?
I wouldn't say that the parents being scared of books is actually that common.
I would disagree with that. It's very common. I don't think you'd find a single parent in this city who doesn't have an opinion on that.
They all have opinions on it, but I'm saying parents aren't concerned about children's books. Parents are concerned about how expensive it is to live, how expensive it is to house your kids, to take care of them, to get daycare, to get food. Because, do you remember what Danielle Smith was running on before she got elected? She was running on making things cheaper, making things simpler. Now, do you realize what's happened? Nothing's cheaper, nothing's simpler, but people are angry and divided about things like books.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think this whole situation...
I believe this intentionally.
Yeah, it's intentional. They're trying to distract you. No, we're saying the same thing. I think it's intentional. They want us to be divided on should these books be in libraries, or should this person be able to say this, or should this person be able to work this type of job or play this kind of sport. Because at the end of the day, when the money comes in, when they're embezzling all this stuff, when they're overtaxing you, when nobody else except for the rich can pay for everything, when they're stripping you of these services, that's where they're winning. They don't care I promise you, all these people who are influential right wingers, they don't care whatsoever. But most of them don't even have kids themselves. They don't care about what's in libraries or women's sports. They don't care in the slightest. What they care about is these type of issues distract from all the stuff that they're doing.
Divide and conquer.
Exactly.
Yep. And where they're bringing this from. Every time you hear them speak about these issues, the first thing they say is, I want to uphold the good Christian values.
Yeah.
And that's where it's being twisted.
Yeah, 100%. They're also doing this, we were talking about immigrants before, they're doing the same thing with immigration, they're doing the same thing with especially Muslim immigrants. They're using these as distractions, as to fool the people into thinking this is what they need to care about, not about all these illegal wars they're in that are sucking up trillions of dollars. The US went into $20 to $30 trillion in debt since 2001, since 9/11, because neoconservatives in the government, guys like Dick Cheney and the like, who are deeply infested into the government. These are people. These are who you would call the deep state. These are people who they want to. These are the people who are really messing up society. They're sending your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father. They're sending these people to foreign lands to fight their wars. Not the
wars
people's
built
wars.
Off profit.
Wars built off profit. Dick Cheney. Do you see this guy's stock portfolio? You see all these weapons manufacturers, the weapons manufacturers for Iraq. were owned by Dick Cheney. I think I think everybody agrees it's messed up for you to own a weapons manufacturer that has a contract with the U.S. military and then be the one to decide where the U.S. military goes.
Exactly.
I think a lot of these people, like everyday people, they support these people as well because they're lost, and I can't really blame them because the news is inherently flawed, right?
Yeah.
So then they can't turn to the news, or where they turn to the internet, or it's some other like
Alternative
extremist like echo chamber, right?
Yeah.
Like that's how stuff like the red pill shit started, right?
Yeah. No.
Like it started from good roots, people wanting to improve themselves.
Yeah.
But then it just becomes people in echo chambers, and they're just channeling so much hatred, you know?
Yeah.
And then they start supporting shit like Trump and just being bootlickers.
Yeah.
But you can't even really blame them because they're lost, and the system right now
They're almost
doesn't help
brainwashed.
them.
Yeah, they're finding a home, and unfortunately, for many of these people, any home is better than being alone.
Yeah.
And they'll find a home built on hate.
Yeah, there's nobody's loved them, nobody's care about them.
Yeah.
They find
They're finding
their comfort with alternative methods that really aren't good for society.
And that's how the people in power like want to keep it. They want to keep people divided. They want to keep people miserable, right?
Yeah.
If we're always worrying about our bills and shit, everybody's miserable, right?
Yeah.
Talking about like all these issues, and we're always so burdened, right?
Yeah.
How are we ever gonna notice the people who are controlling us if we're always?
Yeah.
That's
I
how
just
they
wanna-
are.
I just want to cut you off for a second. Never heard from you yet. I want to see your views.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I want to tie this back quickly back to religion, specifically in the whole thing of dividing and conquering, especially using religion as a medium, or using religion as a medium to project hate. The whole thing with that is, especially in a place like the US or Alberta, where there's mostly Christians and Christian values, and just in general, like Muslim values, or Islamic, or Judaism, right?
Like
Abrahamic religions, or just any religion, anything where there's a set belief of morals and values that should be upheld, and like sins, for example, right? The thing with those is that it doesn't matter what religion it is, or even if there is no religion. There's always morals and sins are intolerated. They should be, like, and not even just sins, just moral in general. Like, for example, it's a sin to kill someone. It is immoral to also kill someone.
Yeah.
So on and so forth. So sins and morals, they get intertwined very quickly, and then people want to intolerate anything that is a sin, especially in their religions. Like, for example, it's a sin to be homosexual, right? But it doesn't necessarily say you want to hate gay people, or kill them, or injure them, or anything. But it is a sin, and then that's where the line of intolerance starts to fade in and out. Where what should you intolerate and what should you tolerate?
Yeah.
And then countries like the U.S. or Canada, or like here in Alberta, or like in the Middle East or anywhere, they'll use these things and they'll channel hatred and separate and divide, and then those same morals are used to just further divide and separate us in things like the economy, or like with the book ban. They're just distracting people from what the real issues are. And even though we talk about this stuff, and I'm sure a lot of people also acknowledge the fact that like this probably is just a big distraction, because like you guys said, nothing is getting better. Nothing will get better unless like there is active change, like people protesting and like actually like fighting this, because it's not a thing of religion or like whether you're gay or what your morals are. It's a class war. Everything is a class war.
Yeah. See, I feel like there's a racial divide, right? I feel like the people in power, they enforce this like racial divide and have everybody be so like divided, right? When the real issue is simply class.
The issue relies in the rich and the billionaires.
Yeah. The rich,
The ones who want to keep their money, evade their taxes, not help the poor. They're not doing shit for us. They just want to distract us using shit like the book ban, the trans athlete ban, all this shit.
Yeah.
They're using race, immigration, everything.
They want us to think about trans people, right? They want us to hate on all these groups. But the real people in power, right? They don't give a shit if you're trans, straight, or anything, right? They still view you as below them, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do so many people, right? So many people in our communities, right? Our parents, whatever. Why do they condemn trans people and think about that when the people in power, they're simply...
We're all lab rats to them. We're numbers.
Yeah.
Well, do you think people are waking up? Like, we're seeing all these protests against government corruption in Indonesia, Nepal, all around the world right now, where you're seeing these politicians get dragged across the street like they deserve to be honest. as their like as a form of protest against their like countries are crumbling and politicians are just they're taking as much from the resources of the country as they can before the system collapses. I think. Would you say Canada's next, or do you think there's a lot more time before people start actually beginning to?
I think there's a lot more time.
Yeah.
For every person that is woke or knows the truth, there's 10 more people who are still worried about immigrants, worried about if a trans kid's going to their school, if a woman's going in the male bathroom. For every one person that is genuinely thinking about, hey, what are these people doing? Like, are things getting better? There are probably 15 more people thinking about who's going in my bathroom, what are my kids being taught at school, what books are my kids being allowed to read, who's playing in my son's sports teams, all that shit.
All the while they're also worrying about what their kids are being taught, they're voting for the same people that, while they also uphold these same like ideas of like caring about things that should not matter, they're also trying to defund education.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the defunding of education has been, I'm not sure if it has been proven, but it sure as hell starts to seem like conservatives are much more interested in defunding education for other things using the taxpayer money. And when people are uneducated, they learn less about the world and they learn less about how the world is changing, which makes them less democratic and less liberal and makes them want to stay conservative and stay with traditional values where they don't learn anything.
It's like what Miss Fowler said a couple classes ago, where more uneducated person is more likely to be conservative because they know less about the world and they know less about the change. They want to keep things the same. They want to hoard their money.
And the defunding of schools is very real, and it has a very specific attack happening. I've heard this from a teacher who is, in teacher circles, so they know about budgets, they know about funds, they know what's happening. Many years ago, I don't remember the specific year, private schools in Alberta had $40 million of total funding. In the year of 2020.
Okay. And everybody out there is going to start packing up laying up the stuff in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you guys want to get back to it?
Yep.